Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Will with another video for you from Crooked Chicken. Today we're going to take a little trip down memory lane. They recently released a trailer, or kind of a behind the scenes look, of the 30th anniversary Power Rangers special that's going to be coming out on Netflix on April 19th, I believe. And for me, this is a kind of a big deal because, like a lot of kids from the 90s, I grew up with this show. I remember when the first episode aired. I remember coming home from school and watching them bring back Tommy as the White Ranger, and just all these different events that took place through the first 3 seasons, where we still had a mixture of the main cast, and then we had the introduction of the cast that's going to be a part of this special. And so it's really exciting that they're wanting to do this, and it's, we have with this special, we have a mixture of original and second generation casts. So it'll be really great to see these guys come back and do this, and what they're going to do, and what we can expect. And so, like I said, being a 90s kid, having grown up with this, watched everything up until about Zeo, I think was the last form of this particular franchise that I watched, because I kind of outgrew it and became interested in other things. But I've kind of lately started to wanted to recapture part of my childhood. That part in particular, you can't really see in the background or anything, because the darkness, everything that I've chosen. But I do have some Power Ranger toys on both sides of me. I've started to recollect the old figures, and I've actually got a White Ranger helmet back on my shelf. I've got an original Megazord that my wife actually got me for Christmas a couple years ago. Still in the box and everything, which is awesome. And I've just kind of started to recollect these little bits of my childhood. Some things I didn't have, some things I did. I've gotten a couple. I've got a Dragon Zord, I've got a Tiger Zord, so just a little bit of everything. And it's silly how these things have started to kind of excite me and bring out the kid in me again after so many years, because I'm going to be fucking 38 this year, so it's kind of a weird thing that, I've started to collect these things. Let's jump into this little bit of footage that we have. It's kind of a behind the scenes look, making of kind of thing. I don't know if they plan to come out with a trailer for it. I'm sure they will. But anyways, let's get into this and kind of see what we're in for. I have watched it a couple of times, but I wanted to also watch it with you guys and just see what you thought.
Sit and action.
It's been 28 years since I've been back on the set of Power Rangers.
It's kind of crazy to think about that it's been that many years.
It's surreal. It's been a great experience.
It's been very nostalgic.
It's been really exciting to film a 30-year anniversary special.
Let's be honest, the main reason we're here is to see these characters, these actors that we're familiar with from 30 years ago.
I think the audience is going to be, first off, excited to see a bunch of us retro Rangers come back.
Directing two actors who were Power Rangers 30 years ago, and actually from the other actors too, Steve and Kat, it was a really interesting process.
Meeting fans, the one thing they always ask are they ever going to get the band back together?
Just getting to work with Walter, obviously we have a long history together.
Well, David and I working with him as Billy, and Zach being Zach and Billy. It's funny how similar it is, but in a different way.
David and Walter, Steven, and then Catherine. We've been working together a long time ago. So glad to see them.
There were a couple of us that had never been on camera together before.
Well, we were Mighty Morphin together, but separate cast. We've never actually worked
This
together.
is our first time working together.
Just coming back to the show in general it's just a joy.
We're a family of Rangers, so to finally be on a set with them was really interesting.
There's so many little Easter eggs. I just think it's going to give the fans everything they want.
It's such a different take on what we've done before, but a lot of the same elements are there.
I think what I'm most excited about for the fans and this 30th anniversary special is for them to see us all together and our chemistry and our growth.
I think this is the best way we could have celebrated 30 years.
And there you have it. April 19th on Netflix, we're going to have the return of Power Rangers, which is going to be fucking awesome. We're going to have the mixture of first generation, second generation. We saw Walter Jones, David Yost, Steve Cardenas, John Young Bosch, and just a mixture of a couple of these other characters. One thing, as I've watched this a couple of times, the thing that I've noticed and other people have noticed, and there are videos about it out there already, where we have a Green Ranger. Now, as we all know, a couple of months ago we suffered the loss of Jason David Frank, who is the Green Ranger, White Ranger, and various other Rangers. He's the one who's appeared most out of all the other characters. He came back as Rangers, he came back as, I think, a professor or something. And unfortunately, we lost him a couple of months ago. There's still a lot of uncertainties about the circumstances of his passing, but as you see from the footage, we have a Green Ranger, and just so we're not sure, and I've kind of standing behind other creators and other videos that I've seen, we're not sure how we feel about it, because in one sense, because as far as I know, Jason David Frank did not film anything for this. He was initially, I don't think, any part of it. He didn't want to do it. And then so we have this Green Ranger, and no idea who's under it. There are some there's some suspicions that maybe Johnny Young Bosch is the Green Ranger for this, because he was the Green Turbo and Green Zeo Ranger. And so for him to come back and take up the mantle of the original Green Ranger, little unsure. As he's a great actor, and he was one of my favorite Power Rangers. I really enjoyed his take on the Black Ranger, from taking up the mantle from Zach, aka Walter Jones, and coming in and doing the series, and then doing the movie, and then sticking around for the time that he did. And so if it is him taking up the mantle of the Green Ranger, it's just a little bit of a sore subject still, because it's not been long since we lost JDF. And so I'm worried that there will be a backlash from the fans. But then again, it could just be a suit actor and we never see his face, and they could dub over any speaking that he does with maybe old recordings of JDF or what have you. And just so I imagine, and I haven't looked at any videos yet, but I have seen them out there as far as people really deep diving into this, trying to figure out who this mystery character or this mystery Green Ranger is. But on that note, yes, unsure. But on the other note, it will be awesome to see all of these legacy characters come back, being that we're going to see Kat and Aisha. They were also very integral in the Power Rangers for a handful of seasons or what have you, and plus within the original Power Rangers movie and Power Rangers Turbo. So it'll be great to see them come back. There's already been a statement from Amy Jo Johnson, the original Pink Power Ranger. She, I guess, didn't technically say no. She just did not agree to what they were offering. So maybe they just didn't pay her enough, or maybe she didn't like the story, or whatever the case was. She just decided this it wasn't for her. She didn't want to come back, which is unfortunate, because like a lot of guys from the 90s, she was one of my first crushes. And so it is a bummer that she doesn't want to come back and do it, but I can understand why. And so it looks good. I will definitely watch it. Hell, I might even watch some old episodes of Power Rangers, just kind of getting that mindset of again of being a little kid, and just it's something that hopefully, and I think it will. I think it'll be good in the sense that I believe David Yost had a lot to do with the writing and everything, and so having a former Ranger come in and actually come up with the story and everything, from what I understand, anyways, it should be really good. It should be kind of pay tribute to the fans and everything that have stuck with it, because I have had the pleasure of meeting a few of these people, Jason David Frank included, which I'm really grateful for, because I got the chance to meet him, I think, way back in 2015. He came to one of my local cons that I went to, and I got to meet him and tell him he was a big part of my childhood, and so that was really cool. And I did meet Walter Jones and David Yost. I got to meet them also at a con, obviously. Still have yet to meet Austin St. John. From what I understand too, I don't know for sure, but it would be probably correct to speculate that maybe he wasn't asked to come back due to the controversies that he's kind of gotten himself wrapped up into the last couple of years. I'm not saying one way or the other. It would have been cool to see him come back, but maybe he just didn't want to do it either. Who knows? But it's all in all, it'll be a great special. That'll be a homage to the whole franchise, or just at least those first few years when they were the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers before they started jumping every few years into these different generations and different whatever of different Rangers that they had. Like I said, I lost track, I think, after Zeo. I don't even really remember too much after that. With that said, I have kind of rambled on with my last couple of videos. It looks good. I'll definitely watch it. And if you feel the same, leave the comments, leave the likes. And if you enjoyed my videos, please check out my other stuff and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. It really does a lot more than you know. And I think that will do it, guys. So until next time, I'll see you later. Bye.